Hello everyone, Ryan here. So I finally got to watch Justice League movie. That's right, the Justice League. And it rocks. It's awesome. It's an awesome movie. It's pretty much delivered what I was expecting. Granted, maybe it didn't expand on certain things, but I still enjoyed it nonetheless. And of course, I'm going to try to do my best to keep this review spoiler free. Yeah, if you want spoilers, you can go ahead and search for there's already a lot of spoiler reviews on YouTube, so I don't want to be that guy that gives away important plot points. And so first off, I want to get out of the way, the only thing I didn't like about this movie was its runtime. I believe it's like an hour and a half, maybe a little longer, give or take 10 or 20 minutes. I don't know, I guess it just felt like, for me, some of the scenes felt a bit rushed. But then maybe it's just because I was like, I don't know, maybe because I was wrapped up in a lot of the action sequences, or I was just focusing more on, finally being able to see a live action version of the Justice League. And because I've been a DC Comics fan pretty much since I was a little boy, like 7, 8 years old is when I started reading comic books. First comic book I ever owned and read was a Batman comic book, and my love for comic books, especially DC comic books, just grew and grew from then on. And so yeah, I mean, again, I guess maybe that was it. Maybe for me, I was like just really super excited and focusing a lot more on seeing the Justice League live and in action, and it was great. It was, I know that there are a lot of people who don't like it. Obviously, I mean, you can't please everybody. But I mean, I like that when it comes to the DC universe, they're not really focusing on explaining the origin of each character. I mean, they are still going to make separate movies for some of the other characters, such as the Flash, Aquaman, Cyborg, much like they did with Wonder Woman. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, I guess that seems to be people that hate it, that's like their number one gripe, or it's like one of their top 5 things that they don't like about DC movies. But for me, I really don't care about that. Because, I mean, come on, these are characters they're not brand new characters. It's not like they're not just being introduced to the entire world for the first time. Especially when it comes to Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. These are characters that have been around for a very long time. So, I tend to feel like if people don't know who these characters are by now, then hey, it's their own damn fault. I mean, come on. Either you give a crap about these characters or you don't give a crap. Either way, stop pretending that you do give a crap. And or, I don't know what I'm trying to say there, but I'm sure you get the gist of what I am trying to say. Is, these aren't brand spanking new characters. So I feel like if people would just accept that they don't always have to have every single aspect of a movie especially when it comes to like these different comic book movies. You know, if they just accept that, you know, sometimes they are going to have to rely on their memory, rely on what they already know. And if they don't know enough already, then hey, you know, that's not the fault of the people that make these movies. I don't know, okay, I might be going off on a tangent there. I'm willing to admit that, but yeah, so I mean, that aside, I just thoroughly enjoyed this movie. And I don't know, I mean, I like the CGI stuff. I did kind of feel like maybe there was some scenes, maybe no more than 2 or 3 scenes, that I felt like really didn't add that much to the story. But I don't know, I guess I have to say, like, my favorite character in this movie was the Flash. I believe Ezra Miller, he definitely did that role justice. He was great. I mean, I liked pretty much every scene that he was in. Just seeing how fast he can run and move, and it's pretty cool. Even though I am familiar with the Flash TV series, and I like the guy that plays the Flash in that too. But I still like Ezra Miller's version of the Flash as well. So, yeah, I've always felt that the Flash has always been one of those underrated DC characters. And same goes for Aquaman. Although I will say, like, the guy that plays Aquaman in this movie, Jason Momoa. Yeah. I don't know, I feel like at times it seemed to me like I couldn't really believe him as Aquaman. But I don't know, maybe I just like need a certain amount of time to get used to him as Aquaman. Not that, you know, I don't think he did a crappy job, or in fact, I don't think anybody in this movie did a crappy job. I mean, the performance, pretty much all the performances throughout the movie were like pretty dead on. Yes, Ben Affleck as Batman, he does an awesome job. Pretty awesome. And I do hope that he stays on as Batman, because I know that he's supposed to make his first solo Batman movie. So, I mean, it'll be his first time in a standalone Batman movie. I think it's supposed to come out sometime in the next 2 years or so. Because, I mean, I had heard some stuff that, like, he doesn't really want to be Batman anymore. And, which, yeah, to the rest of us may seem pretty ridiculous. But I don't know, I mean, maybe he's tired of working out a lot and watching what he eats. I don't know. Which I guess is pretty understandable. And of course, I do like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I just still feel like they could have gone with someone else to portray Wonder Woman. But, you know, she still does a pretty good job as Wonder Woman. As far as the story goes, I mean, I guess the main villain in this one is this guy named Steppenwolf. And I'm somewhat familiar with that character, not too much. I was surprised that they decided to go with him as a villain for this. The only thing I know is, like, he's supposed to be like some kind of, I don't know, like god or part god or like super being of some kind, and he's able to harness an extreme amount of power. And he tries to do that by acquiring these like cubes. Something to do with there's these 3 cubes and I guess they're like pure energy. And I guess if you get all three, then you can unlock an insane amount of energy and power and essentially become like a god or something close to a god, or yeah, I don't know. That was the only part of the story that I kind of had a little trouble with comprehending completely. But otherwise, I mean, just the scenes with like Steppenwolf when he's fighting the Justice League, I mean, those are some pretty awesome scenes. And yeah, it was really great. I mean, I guess I can kind of understand why some people might not like this. First of all, I mean, obviously, you know, if you're going to compare it to the Marvel movies, it's not going to live up to whatever you expect. And me personally, I like the DC movies a lot more than the Marvel movies. I don't know, because for me, it seems like that with the DC movies, there's like much more of an aspect of realism. I mean, not that much realism, because obviously, you know, you're dealing with super beings, and but yeah, it's not like, because I mean, usually with Marvel movies, they focus more on comedy and like levity, lightheartedness, and whatnot. So I like that with the DC movies. There is some kind of comedy. Like in this movie, The Flash, he's the one that kind of brings the most comic relief. And at times it works, but then other times it just kind of like comes off as a little awkward. But then that's supposed to be because he's like the youngest member of the Justice League, so yeah, of course, he comes off a little awkward. So, but yeah, I guess as I was saying, like the thing I don't really like with Marvel movies is just that they focus a little too much on the comedy. But that's just my personal opinion. And overall, I mean, of course, I mean, there is another important part of this movie that I wish I could kind of talk about, but I mean, yeah, of course, you know, Superman is a part of the Justice League. Everybody knows that. So yeah, even though in like Batman v Superman, they made it look like Superman died. I mean, come on, obviously, Superman doesn't die. That's sorry, you know, if you consider that to be a spoiler, but you know, if you pay attention to the comic books, you know, if you've been alive at all during the past 50 some odd years, then you know that, yeah, Superman doesn't really die. He does kind of like, he'll go away for long stretches of time, but he never really dies. So I'll just leave it at that. It's, you know, because you can't have the Justice League without Superman, so you just can't. It's yeah, overall, I mean, I give this movie a solid 9 out of 10. Yeah, 9 out of 10. I wasn't really too sure about the end. I mean, I guess it did ultimately work, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess they are going to make a sequel. I mean, I've read some stuff about that. I do hope that they do make a sequel, because there is so much more awesome stuff for the Justice League to do. So many more powerful bad guys for them to take on, and yeah, that's. I don't really know what else to say about it. Again, the acting is solid all the way through. CGI was awesome. Story, was also pretty good too, pretty well written. I am though pretty curious about like what stuff they cut out, because I know that the original director, I believe Zack Snyder, he had to quit at some point due to some family emergency that he had, and this other director took over, who I guess ultimately cut out a certain amount of stuff that Zack Snyder originally wanted to keep in. So yeah, I don't know, I guess, you know, I'm pretty sure they're going to have some kind of director's cut thing, like they did with Batman v Superman. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen that director's cut version, I think it's Batman v Superman, the Ultimate Edition, I believe. Yeah, that one is definitely a solid movie, even though it's like a lot longer, like over 3 hours or something. But that one is definitely a lot better than the theatrical version. So, but I guess usually sometimes that tends to be the case. So, so yeah, again, I give it a solid 9 out of 10. Yeah, that'll do it for my review of my spoiler-free review of Justice League movie. Thanks for watching. You know, let me know if any of you have seen it as well, what your thoughts are about it too. But please no spoilers, really. I mean, just for the people who have yet to see it. So, I'm going to try, I guess, later on, possibly do some kind of spoiler talk review of it. Yeah. I believe in the past I've mentioned that I was going to do some kind of like spoiler field reviews of different movies and other stuff. Never really did. But for this one, I think I have to. Yeah, just because I have to. I'm a big fan, so. So yeah, once again, thanks for watching. As always, till next time, don't forget, keep it real, keep on rocking in. Peace.